I'd like to call the meeting to order at 7:30. Roll call, please.
Mr. Simons?
Here.
Mr. Freehan is here. Mr. Boda?
Here.
Mr. Vatsalis?
Here.
Mr. Horn?
Here.
Mrs. Babel?
Here.
Mr. Blackstock?
Here.
All present.
Okay. Would you follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, moving on to approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda as presented? I have two. Under new business, I'd like to add a budget, set the date for the budget workshop. That would be item 7 under new business. And on the back of the agenda, I'd like to swap item 1 for item 2. So we'll do item 2 first, and then item 1. It's because we can't do one until we do the other. So we got them a little backwards. Those are the only two changes I'm proposing. Does anybody else have anything to the agenda? Hearing none, a motion to accept the agenda with the additions would be in order.
So moved. Support.
It's been moved and supported that we approve the agenda with the new additions. Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of the minutes of September 16, 2019. They're in your packet. If anybody has any questions on them?
There are no additions or deletions. I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of September 16th.
I'll support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we approve the minutes of September 16, 2019. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda? Okay, hearing none. Next up is the consent agenda. We have the C1 September 2019 Park Commission minutes. We have C2 St. Clair County Sheriff's Quarterly Activity Report. We have C3 is the September 2019 Building Department Report. C4 is the September 2019 Marine City Fire Authority. And C5 is the October 2019 Historical Commission minutes. We also have the undersheriff in the audience that can answer any questions. You'd like to go to the podium?
Just a few comments. Matt Paulus on behalf of the Sheriff's Office. I know when I was here in June, the last quarter, there was a lot of comments about the high water. We had quite a few citizens speaking about that. So I did have the Marine Division run the wake tickets for the season. Obviously, the season's pretty much done for now. We do still have a few boats in the water for an on-call basis. But for the season, the Marine Division wrote 141 citations, so that's a huge amount compared, obviously, to the last. So it's something that the sheriff took seriously, and they only issued 13 warnings, just to give you an idea.
Now, 141, is that for the total St.
Yeah,
Clair
that would be
County?
for the boats are mostly scheduled on the weekends. We do have some boats during the week, but obviously the calls for service and the increase in business is on the weekends, so the shifts are scheduled that way. So usually a morning and an afternoon shift on the weekends, and maybe just one shift during the day.
But I mean, that 141, that's for all up and down?
Yep, that's for the
St. Clair County?
the St. Clair County. Yep.
All right.
Most of those would be in the. I would assume I don't have them broken down by township, but I would think those would be in the southern part of the county.
Yeah.
For the majority of it. And the other thing I wanted to mention, I had the opportunity to attend a opioid executive committee the sheriff sits on. He's been sitting on and chairing it for quite a while. And I'm going to ask him, to give a summary report that we could give to the townships, because I think it's something important, information that all the townships need to hear. That some of the numbers as far as the deaths in St. Clair County just came in on Thursday, so the numbers really weren't presented in a way that would be easy for me to distribute. But I hope by the time I come in January, I'll have a short summary that I'll include with the weekly report, so you guys can see it ahead of time in case you have any questions. We all know the problem with the overdose deaths across the country, and Michigan is exceptionally hit hard. In St. Clair County, we have, I think last year there were 77 deaths in 2017. So for a small county like that, it's a huge number. And what this committee does that the sheriff sits on, it's a group of prevention and health professionals. They're trying to figure out the best way to, through education with the doctors on prescribing it, but there's also the illicit part with the heroin. When I started I worked at the task force in the early 2000s, there wasn't any heroin in St. Clair County. You had to drive to Detroit. We had people that would drive to Detroit to use heroin, and now it's very prevalent in this county. So that's just some of the changes here. But I think the information, at least a condensed version, would be helpful to all the township boards to let us know where we're at and some of the things that we're doing on a county basis to try and make a difference in that. I think it would be helpful. So I'll bring that.
And also with the doubling of our task force with
Yes.
our millage, I mean,
Yep.
we should see results in
Yep.
not only the board, but
The results
all
from
the residents.
Right, and the enforcement, it's a hard thing to treat, as far as the addiction part. Some of these people are going, the overdose rate, and then they get back into the system. It's really a tough disease to overcome. And a lot of it is education to understand. I learned a lot just by sitting in that committee for a couple hours this morning. It's amazing. But I think some of the information would be helpful to the township board so that you're just aware of what's going on. So as they affect everybody in the county. So I'll see if I can get a condensed version I can bring forth in January, just to let you know where we're at.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Matt?
Assist public, what exactly is that? What is?
That's a good question. It's a catch-all. If they can't figure out what to call it, they call it assist public. One of my things is I'm a big stats person too, so I've looked into the possibility of breaking that out.
Okay.
Problem is you got 70 deputies that all think differently, and we try to get them all thinking on the same, what do you call this? But that is a general catch-all. If they can't figure out what to call it,
Okay.
they call it assist public. It could be anything from somebody complaining about the neighbor to, somebody got locked out of their house and they didn't know what to do. It's a real wide category that, what happens is we get too many categories and it gets too
Right.
confusing.
Well, it just caught my eye, because
Yep.
it's
No,
quite high.
that's very legitimate. In fact, that's one thing. One thing I was thinking about the township, if we ever have any major, I call them critical incidents in the township, what I would like to do is doesn't happen in some of the smaller townships as much, but if we had something, and certainly Larry could always, or Cindy could always email me if there was something the township wanted us to do, a little preview, maybe there was a big incident that happened in East China, I could certainly gather the information together for you if something comes up. And I'm always watching out for that. I know I had a couple of incidents in in China that, they had some questions on. Because they do happen occasionally. There's some bigger incidents that have happened that they had some questions on. So certainly anytime you have a question, Cindy can email me, the township would like, a review on this incident or something, and I can certainly find out.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Friday night, we're gonna have a big football game here in East China Township. You were here a long time. I remember when they built the stadium, we used to have the sheriff out there helping direct traffic to that mess trying to get out of there.
Yep. and
We've
if-
kind of ceased that. Is there a reason for that?
No, I actually talked to the patrol lieutenant this morning, and the East China schools have hired some additional staff from the sheriff's department to come in and help that. As far as getting the people out, we've tried several different methods, and nothing was successful, unfortunately. The way it was designed, there's only one way in and one way out.
Well, it wasn't designed that way. The school district was supposed to, and maybe Angela knows this, or some of the other board members, they were supposed to open that gate and let people go out where the buses go.
Right.
There's another gate there, and they were supposed to come out there. And then the main gate, the main entrance, was supposed to be like two coming out and one coming in. But like I say, they've got away from all that stuff.
Yeah, and I can look at it and I can check with the supervisors that are working that night. I worked there, it's been a few years, and I almost got hit, standing out there in there on Meisner.
Well, yeah, it's,
Almost got hit by a car.
It's
So-
very dark there and really
Yeah, it
people
almost
coming in
became a
and-
safety thing because the people coming on Meisner couldn't see me, and I was trying to get people to come out, and I almost got run over by a car.
I just don't want to have an accident
Yeah,
happen.
no, I understand that, and we can certainly look at it again, but I know it's a very, like you said, it's a very poorly designed as far as the egress, and I think nowadays they do a much better job of designing, when they put a lot more thought into the designing of the flow of traffic coming in. They're a lot more safety conscious now, which is a good thing.
Because I think this game, they're going to have a lot of people parking on the road.
Right.
That
no
has been
doubt.
a
Right.
very
You know,
big
they'll be
doubt.
parked all the way down to
No
Bell
doubt.
River.
Can't we talk to the superintendent and see if they could open up that other gate? Because at least
I
that would
could go
alleviate people
approach
going to
her,
the
yeah.
left could go that way, and people going right can use the main.
Where's the other gate that,
It's where the buses go in and out,
It's on the west side of the administration building.
okay.
and there's a gate in the very back, but they haven't used it in years. That used to be the flow, another exit to get out of there.
Right.
I mean, if you had to get an emergency vehicle in there
Oh,
or
no.
something,
No, you
it's like,
No, you'd have to stop at the front and bring the people out to the front because there would be no way.
yeah.
But we'll certainly look at, and East China did hire some additional staff.
Okay. Well,
So
that's
they do
good.
have, I think there's at least 3 or 4 deputies that are there, but they did hire some additional staff to,
Is that to be in the stadium or?
on the
traffic?
grounds, so.
On the grounds,
yeah.
okay. All right, well, I just thought.
Thank you.
Yes, no, good
Thank
point,
you.
I will address it, so we'll have more people there.
Okay, anybody else have any questions for Undersheriff? Okay, all right, thank you. So is there any other questions on the consent agenda? If not, a motion to accept the consent agenda
Just
as
one
presented.
question. Do we actually have park commission minutes?
No, we don't.
No.
Okay.
They weren't submitted.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion and a support to accept the consent agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to disbursements, we have invoices for $27,774.11. We have accounts payable for $250,308. We have a payroll direct deposit of $30,164.45. We have an EFT payment of $42,778.18. And we have a tax account of $2,202,472.69, for a total disbursement of $2,553,497.43.
I'll make a motion, total disbursements of $2,553,497.43.
Support.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a support to pay the bills in the total of $2,553,497.43. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Simons,
Yes.
Mrs. Babel,
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock.
Yes.
Mr. Boda,
Yes.
Mr. Patsalas.
Yes.
Mr. Horn.
Yes.
All yeas.
Motion carries, we pay the bills. Thank you. Moving on to new business. We have building department hours. Cindy, do you want to explain that, or do you want me to go through it? or-
Were you
It doesn't
swapping
matter.
those two?
Oh,
Larry, were you swapping those two?
no. Swapping these two.
Oh, okay. Those under old business.
Building department hours. What we do is we have a part-time building inspector and we have a part-time, building department assistant. Her hours are 8 to 2. And, we would like to have the building department hours be 8 to 2, Monday through Friday. And if you need assistance, anybody in the building department, they can call and set up an appointment. We have an email for both Pam and Tracy. I believe, am I correct on the email?
Well, email is building@eastchina.township.
Okay.
Then reach the
And
department.
then appointment can be set up if you want something special time or special needs. And the other thing is, if somebody comes in and wants a permit, we can give you the forms to fill out a permit, but the person's not gonna be here to answer all your questions. The best way to contact our building department is through the email.
Doesn't Pamela do that stuff right now? Doesn't she do all the,
She does. She does it all.
Right.
I mean, the other girls know, where the permits and stuff are to issue them out, but they're not gonna be able to answer all the questions. We're trying to keep it, so one person has their hand in there and knows where everything's at and keeps it all updated. We don't have everybody answering questions and they're not correct. We just have two people doing it.
so she pretty much does all that now?
It'll be Pam and Tracy will be the building department. And I think you'll see that when we get down to
The next one.
the next job.
Yeah,
So
this will
does-
really just allow us to formally acknowledge that, and then we can post some hours at the counter so that people get used to the idea of set hours. Before, it was not as clear. I think there were some staffing changes, and we've really honed in on creating a position that totally functions as the building department clerical staff. So it'll help us to kind of share that with the public so that they know when they can come in and get done what they need to, and if that doesn't accommodate them, then they know that we'll have to set up something else.
And we want to try this and see how it works, and if it doesn't work, if we find we need to have one day that's different hours, then we'll accommodate that, but this is like a starting point.
Okay.
So do we need a motion to, or is that just discussion, or?
Depends on how you want it to read into the minutes, if you want to do that.
Yeah, we could
I'll make a motion that we establish our building department hours Monday through Friday from 8 to 2. And that all other times, the counter staff will be able to provide minimum assistance. And if they have to set up a meeting with a building inspector, they can do that.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and we have a support to set the building department hours 8 to 2, Monday through Friday. Is there any further discussion? Everybody understands the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we're under new business 2, clerical building department secretary job description. What we have here is Cindy worked on this job description. We notified the union, we included them in our conversations. This is a non-union job, so. Where am I at with that? Did you all have a chance to look at it? And it spells out more of the building department.
Sounds like there's a ton of stuff to do.
Yeah, and she'd still be waiting on the counter, taking water bills. All that stuff's still part of her job. But she'll be concentrating mainly on the building department. She'll be in charge of, and that's code enforcing and that's all part of the building.
And I'll just add that none of the criteria or offerings of the pay or benefits, those were all what were offered and agreed upon at the time of hire of the person that we have in the position right now. This is just kind of buttoning it all up into a job description, trying to standardize the way that they look, so that when we move forward with other union-related job descriptions, they'll all have that same kind of uniform appearance, so everybody understands what we're looking at.
And Pam was all fine with this, she reviewed it, and
And also the building official. They both agree that this encompasses all of the things that are already being done and that need to be noted.
I would like to make a motion to approve the job description for the 2019 part-time clerical secretary, Pam. I think she does a very nice job, and seeing that she's agreed to it, I'd like to make that motion.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion and support to accept the secretarial job descriptions. Is there any further discussion? Everybody understands what we're doing? If so, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to new business 3, bids for concrete repair on Hathaway Street. I believe this is a repair we did last year, and we had to let it settle. We dug a large hole right on the edge of the road in the, partly in the right-of-way and partly on private. And Blaine's here, if you have any questions, what we're doing here, it's a driveway approach and curb and gutter. This was that line we had to bore underneath Hathaway Street,
It does cross Hathaway.
across, yeah, 4-inch line or is it 6-inch?
6-inch riser.
This is just a continuation of that, finishing that job up, but we wanted to bring it before the board.
Blaine, is this, it says that I know it may be too late in the year to schedule in. Is that because of the weather or they're just too busy?
They're busy and the weather's gonna start to.
Something lousy.
One of them's got the curb at 41 feet and the other one's 53. Can you explain that?
No, I can't, they all saw the same job.
Have they done work for us before?
Neither company has done work for it.
Neither one, or?
I think they're both good companies. I mean, they're local companies.
I'm just interested in.
Has the one company guaranteed they can get it done this year?
No one's guaranteeing anything, just got the quote and try to get in the schedule, get in the quotes.
How long are the bids good for? They didn't give us not 30 days or 90 days or?
I don't believe, I didn't look into that.
I'll make a motion, we award the contract to Jim Schweilhoff for construction. It consists of installing approximately 53 feet of curb and gutter and one approach 9 by 17 feet at 231, 302, and 308 Hathaway Street for a cost of $5,000, not to exceed $5,600.
The other one does say about placing the curb too. It adds up.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a support?
I'll support.
A motion and support. Everybody understands what we're looking at here? Any questions?
I'm a little concerned, the one bid is removal of the asphalt. Does the other one, is that gonna be taken care of?
That was explained to them when they looked at the job,
Okay.
that they have to saw cut on each side of the asphalt, install a new curb and gutter.
And they will remove that, even the one that doesn't show that they're gonna remove it?
We saw that when we looked at the
Okay.
job.
Those are quite a bit different.
Okay.
Shaw's is very bland. Shaw's is very, he explains everything. He explains everything.
Right.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Good question there, Debbie. Any other questions about the asphalt? If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
Mr. Vatsalas,
Yes.
Mr. Boda,
Yes.
Mr. Simons,
Yes.
Brianne votes yes, Mr. Blackstock,
Yes.
Mrs. Babel,
Yes.
all yes.
Okay, motion carries. We award the contract to Jim Schweil for construction. All right, moving on to item 4 is the bids for the bike trail and pathway reconstruction. That's your second NB3, or
Where is that
4.
at? Where's that at?
We'll have Blaine here explain it to you where he wants to do it.
For these quotes, I did not select a particular area to do the repair. I've got a couple picked out. I just had contractors look at a general area of the bike path and give us prices on what it would cost to remove and replace what's there. So if anyone had any particular spot that they'd like me to look at before we assign the work area, that's a possibility. But each contractor gave me a price on removal and replacement with 4 inches of asphalt. I have drilled some holes in the bike path to see the thickness of the asphalt. It ranges from 2 inches to 4 inches. Some has already been capped in the past, some has not.
So you're looking to remove the existing bike trail that we have, put some more base down, and then,
Regrade out the base, compact it.
and then put 4
and then
inches
put
of,
4 inches down. In the past, we've capped some with 2 more inches of asphalt. It holds up for a year or two, and then the cracks all work its way through.
and we believe it's that railroad bed because of the large stone and it moves around. And what Blaine has attained here is a linear feet, and then, like Jelsis give us different linear feet prices for, and we'll adjust that by the money that we see we have to budget for that. So they would do whatever linear feet we wanted, huh?
Yes, yeah, they just gave us some price breakdowns depending on how much we had to spend. If you're going X amount, it's this, and so on as it increased.
So what is your consensus here? Who do you want to work with, or how do they shake out here?
In the past, since I've been here, Jelsh has done the recapping, and it's been good work. It's as good as it can be for capping. So I'm fine with them doing the job.
I mean, we have Asphalt Unlimited, 300 feet. We don't have a 300,
But that would be
what's that?
300 by 8, that's,
3,000 square feet.
yeah, but these lineal feet,
Is it on the
so
other
if
page?
you're doing lineal
Yeah, it's
feet,
375 lineal feet. He's
it's
Oh, wow.
8 by 300, which is 24,000. No, 2,400.
Right, he's giving us a little bit more.
Yeah.
Blaine, are we looking at the 375 lineal feet, or would you want to go more? I mean, because he has 500 and 625.
It would depend on what's in the budget.
What's in the budget?
We can cut this off anywhere, start anywhere. The 2 spots that I'm looking at is over on Meisner Road to the south, going towards Bell River Woods. There's a few bad spots in there.
Right.
And that's roughly the area that we've left off in the past. Also, right out here by the conveyor, from Recor Road going north towards the conveyor. The asphalt's getting pretty busted up there too.
Okay.
So you'll do maybe 300 here and 300 there?
I'd probably keep it all in the same spot so we can get a good amount done. But I'm just trying to pick the worst spot, and if anyone else had any thoughts on a spot they'd like to see looked at, we can do that.
Because that Asphalt Unlimited quote is 300 continuous feet. I mean, he's not letting you break it up.
Yeah, I would keep the whole project in one section.
Okay. And I guess Jel's is just giving us a break if you put more in. I mean, it goes from 442 a square foot to 386 a square foot.
Well, what's the board's pleasure? I mean, we've used gels, you like gels, they're the low bid here.
By far.
I'd make a motion to approve, to award a contract for bike path trail repairs to Jel's Paving at a cost of $13,260 for 3,000 square feet of asphalt paving.
All right, but what if we want to do more? That's kind of limited on where we're,
I believe you have 20 or 25,000 in the budget dedicated for this.
I think we should do the 5,000
Okay, we
square
did
feet.
5,000.
Yeah,
We didn't get a quote on.
yeah, we do right here. It's 386
Yeah,
a square
okay.
foot.
We have that, yes.
That would be cheaper.
No, I was talking about asphalt unlimited. We don't have a quote for 5,000 from Asphalt Unlimited then?
No.
But we were looking at linear feet, right?
Correct.
Do we have a patch that's gonna be equivalent to 625 lineal feet on that, that we can run? Or could we do 300 at Bell River and do the other 325 at the Edison? Would they let us split that
I
up?
have broke the sections down and measured it, and it's all 1,000 feet or more in the phases that it was done. So I think with 600 feet or whatever it was for Jelsh, we'd keep it all in one spot.
All in one spot?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a long way.
So we're making the assumption that Asphalt Unlimited would be for 625 lineal feet would be in excess of the 19,875 that they bid for 300.
Based upon the bid they submitted for the 300.
They
It would
didn't
be
submit
almost
it,
double this.
they didn't submit a bid
No.
for 625 lineal feet.
God, Jel's at 625 is cheaper than asphalt at 300.
Yeah, as I say, you're making an assumption.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't imagine what their price would be for 625.
Well, we've got a motion to, I think you just,
Okay, I'll
Change
amend,
your-
I'll
amend your
change the motion to award a contract to Jel's. Award a contract for bike path for 5,000 square feet, 625 lineal feet of bike path trail repairs to Jel's paving at a cost not to exceed $19,332.
I'll support.
okay, we have a motion, we have a support to award the contract to Jelsh Paving for 5,000 square feet, not to exceed $19,332. Does everybody understand what we're talking about here? And we have a line item in the budget for this too, so. That being said, roll call, please.
Mr. Simons,
Yes.
three-hand vote yes. Mr. Boda,
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock,
Yes.
Mr. Batsalas,
Yes.
Ms. Babel,
Yes.
Mr. Horn,
Yes.
all yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 5, adopt resolution 17-2019 to amend the water and sewer rates. I believe this is just a cleanup for what we did before. We didn't do the resolution. Didn't have a number on it.
Let's see.
No, it had a clerical error regarding the flat rate of the water.
Yeah, it was on one of the,
Well, we had,
budget
there was a clerical error in the flat rate. It read $20.65 instead of $20, which is, it should have read $20. That's our current
Here it is.
flat rate. And also, there was a request to include all of the rates in the resolution, and they were not included in the original resolution. So this is an amendment. It will get a different number, and we'll record it as such, that it was actually amended.
Okay, then we'll need a motion to amend the water and sewer rates, resolution 17.
I'd like to make that motion that
Do we have to read it again, or
it's best to read it.
would you like to read it?
Yes, I will read it. This is Resolution 17, 2019, to amend water and sewer rates, East China Township, County of St. Clair, Michigan. Minutes of the regular meeting of the Township Board of East China, County of St. Clair, Michigan, held in Township Hall on the 7th day of October, 7:30 PM. We had present, the following resolution was offered by myself. Do we have a support for it?
Support.
I'll support.
Mr. Blackstock supported it.
Okay.
Whereas the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 453-14 and Chapter 453-15 provides in Section A that water and sewer rates shall be set by resolution of the Township Board of Trustees, and whereas the Township Board of Trustees affirming March 18th, 2019 adoption of the water and sewer rate increase over a 3-year phase-in period beginning October 1st, 2019, with an annual review, the rates would move towards making both water and sewer services self-supporting systems. Whereas the cost of repairs, operation, and maintenance of the East China Township Water Distribution System are anticipated to increase, and whereas Resolution 09-2019 contained a clerical error in the water rates, and this resolution shall amend and replace Resolution 09-2019 in its entirety. Now therefore be it resolved, the East China Board of Trustees affirms the water consumption charge rate increase from $5.15 to $5.75 per 1,000 gallons, with a quarterly residential water ready-to-serve charge for a 3/4 inch meter of $20 increased to $21.96. The current sewer consumption charge of $5.19 is also affirmed to increase to $5.66 per 1,000 gallons. Ready-to-serve charges are based rate on meter size. The following minimum charge is established for the various meter sizes listed below. Meter size 3/4 inch to 1 inch is $21.96. Water ready-to-serve, sewer ready-to-serve is $20.45. 1.5 inch meter, $109.80. Sewer, $102.25. 2 inch meter size, water is $175.68. Sewer is $163.60. 3 inch meter size, $329.40 for water, $306.75 for sewer. 4 inch meter size, water is $614.88. Sewer is $572.60. 6 inch meter size, water is $1,405.44. Sewer is $1,308.80. 12 inch meter, water is $5,621.76. Sewer ready to serve, $5,235.20. Be it further resolved that the water and sewer consumption charges and the water and sewer readiness to serve shall take effect on October 1st, 2019, and be evaluated annually. All resolutions and parts of the resolutions insofar as they conflict with the provisions of this resolution be and the same hereby are rescinded.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Everybody understand what we're doing here? Any other questions? Hearing none. I think we should do a roll call on this.
Yes, we do. Let's see. And just by way of information, there, on the meter size for 2, 3, 4, and 6, those should be inches instead of feet, so
Okay,
we will correct that. Okay. Roll call. Mr. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Voda?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Mr. Patsalas?
Yes.
Ms. Babel?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
This is something we don't like to do, but I have to vote yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Motion carries. A resolution 17-2019 passes. By moving on to new business, item 6, Atchison on-site flu vaccination clinic for employees. Cindy, this is something that you've been working on, or?
Well, Wendy's submitted it. I think she got all the details, but the flyer is attached. So it's just something that they offered. I'm not sure if they did it last year here. It's just for employees, but it does allow us to have that benefit offered to them here on site at no cost
What?
to them.
Who authorizes, or who says we can have it?
This would be you, the board.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh, I thought you said somebody was, so they're asking to do this, and is all the employees wanting to do this, or how many are we gonna have, or have you don't know?
I don't know. I did ask department heads if this was something that they would want, and the department heads did say that it would be a good idea. Have you done it before here on
Never.
site?
No, never.
Not
No?
at all.
No.
As on TV, that's gonna be an early flu season this year, already started.
And we have to pay $230, and then they bill it, Atchison takes care of billing their insurance, or who does that?
Ascension.
Right, yeah, they take care of, correct. The employee shows up, we know that they're covered by Blue Cross, Ascension bills Blue Cross Direct for the cost of the shot. However, there are costs of them staffing it and supplies and things like that, so that's what that $175 plus an hourly charge for our small employee group.
So we'd have to have everybody here within that hour, try to,
Well, looks like she's scheduled it from 11 to 1. I wasn't involved in the scheduling, but it looks like they've scheduled it from 11 to 1 on November 4th.
So the fee of $230 is what Ascension is charging us to come and put the shots on. It will not cost the employees anything if they have Blue Cross Blue Shield, correct?
Correct. And I believe it wouldn't cost them anything if they were to go to their doctor.
I was gonna say, if they go to Ascension, they still don't pay nothing,
That's
correct?
correct. I think what we can look at this is, we're offering it so that it's a guarantee. If you're at work today, we kind of encourage you to come and get that shot. Therefore, we're not going to have people out sick this season because we're giving them that direct opportunity to get a shot. They don't have to go after work. They don't have to remember to go. This is going to be provided right for them. So sometimes that's a barrier for people trying to find the time to go and get a flu shot, or you forget, keep putting it off.
I feel if they wanna get a flu shot, they can get in their car and drive 5 minutes to the hospital and get a flu shot. I mean, this way, you're almost directing them to get that flu shot. And if we have 5 people show up, it's costing us, what, $50 a shot? So,
So this is something they reached out and said it's offered if you wanted to
Right.
do it.
okay,
So Wendy pulled together the information for you.
okay, thanks.
Bad, we don't know how many it's gonna show up.
Well, we have less than 25 employees. We know that off the top.
now, when we say employees, is this people with insurance that would be qualified for that, or what about park people that are?
This would be for our employees.
And you'd have to have the Blue Cross Blue Shield to get that, because they bill Blue Cross Blue Shield the amount.
Right.
So if they don't have Blue Cross Blue Shield, they're not entitled to do it.
Didn't we just pay to have the hospital have a flu shot day?
That was for our residents.
Okay.
And that come in at about, it was $800. Well, it's up to the board. If they don't feel we want to offer it, then we go. We don't get no motion, then it'll be dropped for lack of a motion.
Well, I saw a sign this morning, free flu shots. Just about every corner up towards Portier. The thing is, we checked on it, you have to have insurance like Blue Cross. If you don't have it, you don't get the shot for free.
Yeah, these shots are, this is, all we're doing is offering, like Cindy said, we're offering the convenience of doing it while you're at work.
Right.
And we're offering maybe not to have 1 or 2 people off sick with the flu.
Right.
That's
Preventive.
our benefit, I
Just
feel.
being
that we would
preventative
get.
on it.
But we still are, with the insurance that we provide, they can still go to CVS and get a shot. That's up to the board, whatever you want.
Angelo said if there's only 5 show up, and we're still stuck for $230.
Right.
So we don't know how many's coming.
That's what I would like to know, how many are gonna participate. If all employees are gonna participate, could be something we could do. But like Angela said, we're gonna, if only 3 show up, and then we're paying 200, that's a minimum. We're gonna have it open for 2 hours, that's gonna be more than that.
That's right, another 55.
Any other input on it? Debbie, you have anything?
No, I agree with Angelo.
right.
Go to Walmart and get it.
Okay, well, I guess we just drop it for lack of a
Hospital's
motion.
so close, they can take it, go right over there.
Okay. All right, moving on to new business item 7. We got to set a workshop for our budget. I'm proposing that we do it on 10/21/19. We've done it before on separate nights, but I thought if people could come in at 6:30 before the meeting, we could have our budget hearing. Our budget workshop, not our hearing, our budget workshop. And if we needed another time to do it after the meeting, then we could do it again. But when are we looking at approving that, Cindy? The first meeting in November now? The budget?
The public hearing is hopefully going to be that first meeting in November.
In November. This is the workshop for the board members, so this will be an hour before the meeting. Unless you want to do it on a separate night. It's up to you guys what you want to do. I just thought if we come in an hour early, it would be, we can get through it. You guys will have a copy of it before the meeting to.
I think
We have, clerk, our clerk, Mr. Freehand, we have a, elections commission at 6:45. I don't know how long that'll take. I mean, I don't know if that'll interrupt with us or it's the same day.
That'll take about 15 minutes.
Okay, so then that'd be
So you
fine.
want to make it 6:30 or 6:15 or?
Well, if we're only gonna take 15 minutes, I mean, do you want us to meet earlier, maybe 6:15 to 6:30, and then start the budget workshop at 6:30?
Okay.
Do it that
We'll
way.
just change the time. then.
Change the time, and go to 6:15?
Okay, so I guess you like the 6:30? So everybody, Debbie, can you make the 6:30?
Oh, that sounds good.
So somebody want to make a motion to set the budget workshop for the board at 10/21/19 at 6:30?
I'll make that motion.
Support,
Herb and Debbie,
support.
supported. Everybody understand the dates?
busy night.
All right,
First meeting in November.
if there's no more questions, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So it's the October.
Next, we're going to the backside of your agenda. What was that? You got a question?
October 21st, right?
Yes.
October 21st, okay.
All right, next, we're gonna move on to bid award recommendation, Meisner Road Pump Station Rehabilitation and Bell River Bypass. That's the two we swapped, so we're gonna do the,
Number 2 first.
Just launch one first.
and we have Anthony here from PCE for any questions on this.
So, we had our bid opening on the 1st, and it was pretty good results. We had 6 bidders that participated. We had directly advertised, or directly got out bids to the bid documents to the contractors. We had it in 3 plans houses, and I believe it got out on Mitten as well. So it was pretty well advertised, and so that's, I think, why the numbers were good of people that participated. So as I wrote in my bid recommendation, the budget for this project, for the scope of work that they bid on, encompassed 2 parts of our Meisner Road Pump Station rehab. So that'd be the bypass and force main installation cost and the pump station rehabilitation cost. And then the Bell River Pump Station was a installation cost just for a new bypass force main, minus an amount equal to the equipment that we direct purchased from the pump supplier. And that was Kennedy Industries. So if you tally all those numbers, you have $290,808 on the Meisner project, minus 79,439, which is the direct purchase of equipment on that site, and then add 85,000 was the budget on the installation of the force main, the new force main in Springborn, the Bell River Pump Station. And so that gives a budget that they're bidding on of $296,369. We look at our bids that came in, we had 3 of the 6 bids came under that amount. So those 3 were in descending order. We had Telto contracting at $292,907. Then we had Body Construction at $274,533. And then we had Lawrence Clark, or LM Clark, at $273,000 as the lowest bidder. So in my recommendation, so I'm quite familiar with Telto and Body Construction just from projects they've done in the area. Was less familiar with Lawrence Clark, being that they're from Belleville, so that's like south of Willow Run. But they, I guess, have been doing projects. They've been in business. I had to do a little research on them. They've been in business and that name since, I think, 1981. So they've been around for a while. And I went ahead and contacted all their references that they had provided. But, you know, it takes time. You're talking, that happened on Tuesday night, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then today. So by my recommendation on end of business Wednesday, I only had 1 response from, you know, I'd called and left messages or sent an email, and I only had 1 response, which was the top line on the low bidders reference list, the city of Lapeer. And so it was kind of a so-so response from them on the project that they had mentioned in their reference list. So I needed to just say, based on references, I recommend the board move ahead with your selection of one of those 3, which are in the budget, you know. Subsequently, though, I've gotten responses from the other references that I contacted for the lowest bidder that I also don't have a lot of familiarity with. And those were all pretty positive. They all said, so that would be the references. They had done City of Allen Park, City of Monroe, which I talked to their in-house engineer, and then the City of Warren, I spoke to Metco Services, the engineering on that job. So all of those were positive responses that Lawrence Clark had come in on budget, that, you know, obviously with some caveats that were needed, that they had requested, but that all of them were on time. The only real comment, and I see it was a City of Lapeer and City of Monroe said the same, was that they seem to be busy and that they're limited and they're not just unlimited capacities of how many jobs they can take. So that's the only thing, and that seemed to be the response from the City of Lapeer as well. They have City of Lapeer's job is very similar to ours in that it's a pump station rehab with a new directional drilled force main, so very similar to our scope of work. A lot bigger project, 1.7 million. They had major delays there, but I don't know the cause of those delays. If it was, you know, the water issues, you know, it's hard to say. But it seems that the other projects didn't have such major issues, so maybe it's just a certain project that was quite difficult or ran into difficulties, so.
Do we have a performance issue here, or bond, or,
Yes,
I mean, and then a time frame?
yes, we do, with a penalty.
So what happens if they don't perform in the time specified?
There's conditions in the contract documents that we write up that there are penalties for that time over the allotted time that we give them.
Because the more we go over
Oh,
at
yeah.
certain times, if we have to rent pumps and all that stuff too.
Yeah, well, they would be paying those things, so the real question would be, you know, we're concerned about getting this project done before the bridge is taken out on Meisner. So I think that the road commission is talking about sometime in the summer to fall. So we didn't cut it too close because we have them finishing, I think, in April. So,
Well, you're gonna be working all through the cold season
That's
too, I
right.
mean.
that's right.
You know,
So,
that could have delays, it could have freezing, we could have snowstorms, right?
Yep.
There's a lot, we're working right next to the road.
I'm sorry, did you say they're looking at summer to fall to put the bridge in?
that's the last I spoke to
Yes.
them. They were still in
In
design
2020,
phase.
right?
Yes, next summer.
Okay.
Yeah,
They haven't set an exact date yet.
no, late summer was all the last I heard, so.
Larry, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't we have this Lawrence Clark do the water line over on Orchard? And we had problems with them?
I don't know.
I believe they were the contractor.
Really, I don't know that. I remember when we did that.
Yep.
I don't know, I can't remember who the
I
contractor
believe
was.
it was Clark.
Well, I don't,
Yeah, so, so that was the only thing I would say. Now, the difference between, they're a good $20,000 less than the budget. And I think that's about as much as the third bidder was. So, I know that you have a lot of experience with Telto contracting here. Body, I know is around, they're doing a lot of road projects, I think.
I mean, has Body done lift stations?
I believe so. They had it on the reference, I didn't bring their reference page, but I did contact several of their references as well, and they were lift station projects. So, I think the major thing that may have allowed the Lawrence Clark to be a little bidder is they have all their own directional drilling equipment, which is quite specialized. The project they did in Lapeer was 16-inch HDPE, so we're only doing a 6-inch. So, you know, that specialized equipment for.
Well, they have their own drilling.
Oh, yeah, they sent me their equipment list, so they have all veneer equipment, you know, all the equipment necessary to do big HDPE directional bores. So, you know, I think from the standpoint of, if they were to show up and they were to get into place, I think that they would do that directional drilling. I think they have the experience and know-how, at least from talking, for example, to the City of Monroe's engineer. They have that experience. Their crews are knowledgeable, and it's their own equipment. So that side of things I think is good. The pump station, so that would be the entire job really in Springborn. On the Meisner Road, there's the tie-in that needs to be done to the station. That involves, the only other major critical part of the project is excavating, and so they're an underground contractor. So that's according to, I spoke to them, I called Lawrence Clark to ask him some questions directly. And so they were the prime contractor on these jobs, and that involved anything that was underground, that's all done in-house. The only thing they said that they hire out or subcontract is if they have any concrete work on the job, which we have very little concrete pads to do. And then they also they hire out their electrical. But given that we've had Kennedy Industries build the panel for us, it's just a simple electrical connection at this point.
It's not a design, huh?
No, and a couple lights that go back down to the dry pit, that's it. So, pretty simple electrical. And they told me that they use GM and Sons for concrete, and they're reputable. And then they told me they're electrical contractors too that they were looking at using, and they also were reputable and local. So,
This was Clark?
yeah, for the lowest bidder. So I guess in summary, I'd say my apprehensions initially, just maybe due to the first reply to the references, was kind of not so good because of the delays that City of Lapeer reported to me. But otherwise, they were all positive customer referrals. So.
So would it be your recommendation to do Lawrence Clark?
Yeah, I think that there's nothing that would say they're not experienced or not capable of doing the job, and they were the lowest bidder. So, you know, you run into a situation when you don't allow the bid process to take its course, that on the next job that we try to do, they don't take our bid seriously like they did this time. So I wouldn't want that to happen. I think we had a really successful
Right.
bid, so.
So you say in the bid, or in the documents, that we'll be covered for if there's a delay?
That's right. We write the contract book, and in that contract book, there are penalties for delays. I can't tell you exactly what they're offhand, but
Because I don't want to put any more stress on our DPW.
That's
You
right.
know, because it's going to be a lot of work for them, why we're bypassing and all that. And
Yep.
if it's in February, when did you want to start this job?
November, first week of November, we'll allow them to start. So, and the panels, according to Kennedy Industries, the panels and pumps, all the equipment we ordered, it will be here before then. It'll be here, I think, within a week or two.
So what, would you suggest that they do the boring first while the weather's still?
Oh, yeah, yep. I would have them do the boring on Meisner first and get it to the point where it can be bypassed. And then, so that's all the HDPE part. Do all
And
that.
where that comes up on the east side of the bridge is going to be well away from the bridge?
Yes, yes, so it ties into a manhole on the east side of the bridge, that's all HDPE, goes under the river, comes back out on the other side, and at that point, it joins and turns into ductile iron, close to the surface, you know, just about below the frost line. So I would recommend that they get to that point, go and do the Bell River one, then come back, so there's nothing affecting any of the pump stations throughout that time. And then start preparing the Meisner bypass to use that new force main. So that way, you know, any delays, at the very least, we know that that force main that's under at the Meisner Road, that's dictating a lot of the issues with the road commission, would be completed. You know,
What is the time frame of hours or days or weeks or that you're anticipating that this job to take?
they can do the directional boring of those two locations and tie them in less than a few weeks, I would say, 2 to
I
3
mean,
weeks.
the whole project.
For the whole project, I've given them a lot more time than they need due to the weather issues. So I would say if they were just starting now and they had to finish, they could be done in, what, we did Urban Drive in 3 months, 2.5, 3 months. And so I think because you can have you'd have crews doing directional boring and crews working on the pump station, I think you could see 3 months being easily a target completion for them. So they could complete early if they wanted.
Is there any incentive for them to finish early?
I didn't put anything due to the unforeseen issues with weather. I just have that penalty in a substantial completion date, so.
That's part of the reason why we feel we got a lot of bids is because we're doing this in the winter. It's going to be their off time.
The winter work.
That's why we think we got so many bids.
Yeah, actually, the city of Monroe engineer said that they also have a job in Van Buren Township, and that's the only jobs that he knew. So he kind of had an inside track on that. So he said that would be the only one that possibly could affect ours, is this other job they're working on in Van Buren Township. So.
Okay.
But once the job would be finished, I mean, we'd have access to, we don't have to wait till April 1st
No.
to do what we need to do.
Yeah, they probably, if they do the way if no weather issues happen, they would complete all the major activities and probably only be doing a landscaping portion of the job in the spring, you know? Because they would be hampered by the weather to get any of that completed landscaping work, so.
And what about payment? We don't pay them till it's complete or
Yeah,
partial?
they would
Is there
be,
draws or?
there would be percent completions, and so we would determine what percent, they would say we say we are this percent complete, and then I would look at those numbers and say I agree with that.
Or you don't agree?
Yeah, or I don't agree with that, and so we would come to a conclusion on what's that worth, you know, that remaining portion that would be along with their retainage, so.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Anthony?
What's the size of the force main that's on the bridge now?
4-inch,
4 inch?
yeah,
You're increasing it 2 inches.
yeah. Yeah, because you got 2 4s, do the cross-sectional area, 2 4s go into 1/6, same cross-sectional area.
And Blaine's already looked at all this. He's all good with everything. I suggested an 8, but they said there's no way we can get more through a 6 than we can
Yeah,
than what we need
right.
for
right,
our pump
pumps.
capacities.
Yeah, we'd max out the pumps to get that.
All right, does the board have any more questions?
No.
Somebody want to pick one, or?
I'll make a motion that we award the bid to Lawrence M. Clark Incorporated for the Meisner Road Pump Station Rehabilitation and Bell River Bypass at an amount not to exceed $273,000.
That's what he just went through, he changed, he got more information about this.
So Telto's not doing it. This is out there.
All right, we have a motion, do we have support?
I'll support.
Mr. Boda supported it. Everybody understand what we're doing here? Any more questions? If not, roll call, please.
Mr. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Boda?
Yes.
Mr. Petsalas?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Freehand votes yes. Ms. Babel?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now we move on to item 1, proposal to provide project administration and inspection for Meisner Road Rehabilitation and Bell River Bypass.
Did you share with the others the corrected version of this? I gave you 7 copies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Here it is, right here. I'll hand it down, pass them down.
There was just a math error, a typo on the bottom. It's been corrected.
Pass these two down, Herb. And what this is for PCE to administer all this?
Yeah,
Was that in
contract.
our original
Yeah,
scope
those,
of work too?
yeah, those are the item 3 and 4. There was 4 items in total. So you approved item 1 and 2 to get it going to the bid. And then upon a bid award, then you approved 3 and 4 that allows us to write the contract book with the contractor and then administer that contract and then perform inspections to ensure that he's meeting his contractual obligations.
So this is a correction in our favor then, huh?
Yeah,
Three
yeah.
Huh?
thousand.
It crossed my mind to leave it
You
alone.
caught
No, I'm joking. No, it's just a small typo.
Not often we get errors in that direction.
Sure you would have caught it eventually, right?
All right, does everybody understand what this is and have any questions?
There's nothing, this is a pretty pro forma
Yeah,
as far
pretty
as what's
straightforward.
included in it. for
Yeah,
any of this
it was
stuff.
in my original proposal from June 10th. I had a breakdown there. It's right here. So it's administration, notice of award preparation, preparation of contract books, pre-construction meetings, payment application review, final inspection, closeout notification, that's the administration part. Inspections, it's condition assessment of station, dry pit, periodic construction observations and photos, and final walkthrough after completion. So,
I would move to approve the Meisner Road Pump Station Rehabilitation and Bell River Bypass proposal from Project Control Engineering to provide administration and inspection on this project in the amounts as follows: Meisner Road Rehabilitation, $15,300, Bell River Bypass, $6,940, for a total of $22,240.
I'll support.
Okay, we have a motion, we have support to hire PCE to do the project managing and administration of the rehabilitation on Meisner and Bell River Road lift stations. Everybody understand what we're doing? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Freehan votes yes. Ms. Babel?
Yes.
Mr. Blackstock?
Yes.
Mr. Simons?
Yes.
Mr. Boda?
Yes.
Mr. Vatsalas?
Yes.
Mr. Horn?
Yes.
All yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Good luck with this whole project. I hope it all goes smooth, especially doing it in the winter. All right, moving on. Cindy, do you have anything that you'd like to? We got your report?
Yeah, that's it.
And,
I am going to have some more information. They are working on the sirens. There's actually a committee that was brought up last meeting. There's a committee at the county that's reviewing all of the sirens in the county to make sure that they provide a communication system that's compatible for all of them. And if it's not, then they're going to work with us to make sure that our sirens are compatible.
So 3 sirens in our township.
There are 3.
Will be checked. Right.
I'm sorry?
I said 3 sirens in our township will be checked.
Yes. They'll be part of that study.
Okay, anything else for Cindy? Anybody? All right. Moving on to announcements.
I thought you were, okay.
I just like everybody to come to the football game on Friday. I think there's going to be a lot of people. Moving on away from that, I don't know if people have noticed, Record Road is closed between 29 and King Road. You can get down to the park or the sewer station, but it's closed. We're getting that paved, and that is all in relation to doing this lift station job that we have to do prior to the bridge. It's another thing that's getting done, and DTE has helped us immensely with this project. One question that came up, Blaine, can we move the sand pile for filling sandbags, or do they have access to it there, or?
I haven't looked at it lately, but
I had a resident call and want to know if we could maybe temporarily move it while the construction is on.
That's a possibility. Where would you like it?
Somewhere,
Springborn Road? I don't know.
how about somewhere in the park?
What's that?
The issue there is the gate, keeping the gate open.
Well, how about just doing it during working hours, or,
That's fine.
I mean, does the board have, I mean, we're not filling a lot of sandbags right now. This is just temporary till they get the road done.
So that's fine.
You know, maybe just put 10 yards there or something, and
We can do that.
and maybe we can put that on the website that while the road's under construction, that the DPW garage, unless you have another location there where we can put it.
Springborn's fine.
Okay. Last Wednesday, I was invited to Bell River Power Plant. Congressman Paul Mitchell was there to talk with DTE and tour the site, and we toured the site over here, the new Blue Water Energy Center. They're coming right along on it. They're starting the stacks. They're doing a lot of, still hauling a lot of sand and a lot of gravel, more sand now than gravel. You could probably see it in your travels. But it's coming along. I mean, they're doing a bunch of crossings right now with the parts have come in by barge, and they're doing some
I seen the
crossings.
generators come the other day.
Yeah, that day, last Wednesday when we were there, a big part of the generator come in. They have to cross 29, and they omitted you guys, but I suggested you, but it's a MDOT highway, and they wanted the states there, so state police are manning the road. And they were gonna do it at night, and now they're doing it in the daytime, so it's all good. With that, that's all the announcements I have, so, Mr. Horn,
I have nothing tonight.
Mr. Pascal,
Nothing tonight, thanks.
Mr. Boda.
I have nothing tonight. Just glad to hear about the sirens.
All right. Mr. Freehan?
Just, we have, as I mentioned at a previous meeting, we are looking at consolidating the precincts. The lead time on this requires about 250 days. So we will be meeting, the election commission will be meeting on October the 21st to look at and to begin that whole process of consolidating precincts 1 and 2. But in that whole process, once, if the election commission does approve that, then everybody in precinct 2 would be notified. So there'll be a notification process. But the earliest that would actually take place would be the August primary. So if there was an election in the springtime for whatever reason, we would not combine precincts for that particular election. So there's plenty of lead time to do that.
Is that what you had, Bob?
Yes, thank you.
I have nothing. Thank you.
Livestock, Spadle?
We are having our last open house at the Red Brick Schoolhouse, October 12th, from 11 till 3. We will have pumpkin giveaway and fall treats for everybody, so you're welcome to come and join us,
What was that date again?
October 12th. That's the second Saturday. It's this Saturday.
All right, if that's all we have. I've already issued my comments, so. I think it's great that we're getting these lift stations done. I mean, it's part of our big plan that we want to get these done, and sooner or later, our asset management's going to kick in to do a lot of the paying of this stuff. I mean, that's the next step for this water stuff. So with that, I guess a motion to adjourn would be in order.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 8:46.
We have a motion, we have a support?
Support.
We have support to adjourn at 8:46. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.